I've been waiting 13 years for this game. Texas A&M, a 6.5-point dog in Kyle Field against Texas. The over-under in this game, 48.5. I cannot wait for this game. This is the most toxic rivalry in college football. It's the most hate that there is in college football. There is so much history here. There is so much hate that still persists. If you live in Texas, I lived there for a long time, Chris does. A&M people and Texas people are very, very different types of people. And so if you didn't know, A&M people call Texas people T-sips because if you'll hear A&M, one of the yells they have is farmers fight. The idea is that farmers went and fought wars while the Longhorns sat in the Capitol and sipped tea. There's a lot of disdain, a lot of disrespect there. And these two teams are tied inextricably to each other. I don't know any other teams, Damien, that they mention each other in each other's fight songs.
Hook 'em.
It's crazy.
By the way,
that's a first.
The famous Hook 'em is after Gig 'em. It's pulled off of Gig 'em, and
yes.
the TCU had the one as well. Like it's not like Gig 'em was first.
And before the A&M fans yell at me about they technically don't have a fight song, I am referring to the Aggie War Hymn. There's a lot going on here in this game and in this culturally, and these two fan bases hate each other, and they've been mostly fighting on the recruiting trail for the last 13 years. It was criminal they didn't play each other for that long, and they're finally going to get back together, and the stakes in this game could not be any higher. And I'm so excited. We are I
am more excited for this game than like any game in years.
I think I was taking
any
stock of that this week.
game.
I don't think I've ever been more excited. I was talking to people at A&M. I don't think I've ever been more excited to cover a game in my life.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Chris,
You and I will be there. Sam Kahn is coming with us. We got 3 people going to this game at the Athletic.
Yes.
That's how big of a deal we are treating it. We're going to be at Midnight Yell on Friday. Producer Cam's going to be there as well. If you're
we'll have
there,
our camera crew,
come say
some
hi.
mics. We don't really know what we're going to shoot. We're just going to get a feel for it.
How do I keep missing all the get-togethers? And of all the get-togethers, I'm super jealous of this one because when I look at the college football schedule, this is my first year being, I guess, a fan or analyst, however you want to look at it.
Media.
This is media. This is the most exciting game. If I could go to any game that I've seen all year, this would be the one. So I'm super jealous that you guys.
And I've said Kyle Field is the best atmosphere that I have been to. We'll see. I've been to Death Valley at night twice this year. I haven't been to Kyle since probably 2016, 2017. It's been a minute. But there's another thing. The Corps of Cadets, it's kind of an odd thing. If you asked a Texas fan, they would say, why do you guys celebrate your fake army so much? These people hate each other so much. I personally like Reveille. Some people hate Reveille. Damien, how do you feel about a border collie as the signature mascot of your army? That also is the highest ranking member of the Corps of Cadets, and if she walks into a classroom, you got to stand up.
Well, I definitely like it more than a bulldog. I can say that. I can say that for sure. Border collies are much cuter. And then there's Bevo.
Bevo, yeah. Bevo is.
Listen, I'm a
Bevo
big fan of
great.
Bevo too. I'm a big fan of Bevo too. So I don't know. Battle of Mascots. If that's just what this game was about, Battle of Mascots, I'd be torn 50-50. I couldn't even choose.
I don't know. As far as on the field, I think this will be an interesting game. I do think we're probably going to see a little bit of arch mixed in here just because I think you got to mix in a little bit of quarterback run game. And Quinn Ewers sounds like he's going to play, but if you watched him much against Kentucky, I saw a little bit of that game.
Yeah,
he wasn't moving a whole lot, and having that I think is key. What are you looking for on the field in this game, Damien?
Well, kind of what you just said, because if Quinn is less mobile, he's already not the most agile guy in the pocket, but if he's less mobile in this game, then that makes the matchup of Nick Scorton and this Texas A&M defense against Texas's tackles way, way, way more important, because you go back to the Georgia game, Quinn Ewers was sacked 5 times. He was under pressure all game long. And then their offense had 0 rhythm. And not only did they not have any rhythm in that game, that lingered for a couple games before Quinn, really started to find his rhythm again. Mm-hmm. So if they can't stand up to this front and Quinn can't move around, they could get in another hole to where they can't, Quinn's not seeing the field well. Guys might not be open. Quinn might not have access to make some of those throws because he's got a lot of pressure in his face. And then, then we might have to see some more arch. So I'm really going to be looking at Quinn's mobility and how these tackles especially hold up against these ends. Like I already mentioned Nick Scorton. Like that's the biggest key to victory for me if you're Texas.
Mm-hmm. This game produces legends, and this game, I was sort of half joking, Chris, that they should play the first game back in Texas Motor Speedway and sell 250,000 tickets.
Closer to me, it'd be easier for me. It's up near me.
They shouldn't do that, but the spectacle is going to be wild here, and it creates. Damien, do you know who made the kick to give Texas 13 years of bragging rights?
No shot. No, wait. Yes, I do. Yeah, no, wait. Justin Tucker.
Justin Tucker is right.
Here we go.
We should have known then. That was one of the biggest pressure kicks in college football history for all the reasons that we laid out.
You guys want to know? Sorry, Cam's gonna probably be mad because I just started talking while you were talking, and he really hates me. That. But anyways, do you want to know how I actually found that out? Last night I was watching Ravens and Chargers, and they were talking about the A&M Texas rivalry and how it's coming back. And then they showed Justin Tucker's kick to win the last game, and I was like, I didn't even fucking know. I didn't even know Justin Tucker went to Texas. Like, interesting. And so now it came. See, you learn something new every day, and sometimes it comes in handy.
He is more of a Raven than a Longhorn, just because he's had so many big time kicks over time. But I'm a Manning cast guy. I think I missed the Buck Aikman discussion there. So that game, I really can't wait for it. I think the Aggies will keep it close. I think they can win. Texas, more untested than we think. It's going to be tight. It has to come down to the last 5 minutes. If Texas wins this game big, I will be furious because it's going to rob us of 4 quarters of just deafening insanity.
Here's the thing. I think this game is going to be bad football. Like, I think it's going to be kind of ugly. I think the quarterback play is not going to be great. I think it's probably going to be a bit low scoring. It's going to be kind of wacky. I'm not expecting a classic football game here. But we don't care about any of that because college football is not about that. College football is about everything else that comes into the sport and what the game means, playing it for the first time in 13 years, knowing the hatred between these schools, knowing what's on the line. Winner goes to the SEC championship in the first year. And if you're Texas A&M, you had a decade head start on Texas in the SEC. And where did that get you? Texas is ranked higher than you and made the playoff last year. Like, if Texas A&M loses this game, you have to wonder, like, can they ever get back ahead of Texas again? If Texas comes into the SEC, plays for the SEC championship, maybe wins it. Like, that was the whole thing. Texas A&M left the Big 12 to get away from Texas, to go to the big SEC, spent all this money, won a Heisman Trophy, rebuilt the stadium. They took advantage of all of this, and then they squandered it the last 5+ years under Jimbo Fisher. And now Texas is coming in. Texas is finally fully operational in a way we haven't seen in a long time. And if Texas A&M loses this game, it's not just losing to Texas again. It's realizing that all that opportunity you had, all that advantage of being in the SEC is now gone. And Texas is here, and Texas is back above you where they were in the Big 12. But if you win this game in your Texas A&M, this is taking all that decade plus of animosity, going to the SEC championship, realizing we've got a great coach in Mike Elko. We're not going away. We're going to be at the top here. I'm just fired up for this game. I tweeted
Go ahead,
this.
Chris.
If you have a hype video for Texas A&M, send it to me. I want to watch all of this.
This is flowing through your veins.
Yes.
Like this is what college football is about here, and I'm so unbelievably excited for this. I'm so lucky that the three of us, you, me, Ubben, and Sam, are going to get to be there.
Hold on, before we switch gears, can I also talk about how funny it would be if Texas A&M loses this game because of Mike Elko's slip up when he was doing media before the Auburn game?
Oh yes.
Whenever he was talking about, all of our focus is on Texas. I mean Auburn. Well, then you lose to Auburn. Auburn tweets at you, well, good luck against Texas, and then you lose to Texas too.
That'd be tough.
That's Kreisman of the Year material. I know we haven't done Kreisman in a little while. It's Kreisman of the Year material right there.
I think it's it really is poetic though that Texas A&M has not played for the SEC title, and this has to be the first time they've had a chance to playing for the SEC title. It's kind of perfect that it comes against Texas. You couldn't ask for anything better. And I think on the subject of this game creating legends, the last time these two teams played, kind of a hilarious quarterback matchup. Ryan Tannehill versus Case McCoy. And I remember, I don't remember what story I was working on, but it was like a couple years after Case was out of college. It was not very long. And I was reaching out to call him to talk to him for a story. and I called his office number, and his secretary answered. And I thought to myself, I don't know a lot of 24, 25-year-olds who have secretaries, but listen, if you perform in this game, it can set you up pretty well for life, and you're going to do pretty great. And this game means so much to so many people in Texas. I cannot wait.